Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. I'm just continuing a bit of a topical video on a certain club, and today we're talking about Wexford FC. Wexford FC since 2017, and we're talking about a bit of the rebranding and all kinds of reconstruction at the club. Of course, up to that point, they were Mick Wallace's baby, really, weren't they? And they were called Wexford Youths. Personally, I never really gravitated to Wexford Youths. I know you're trying to be a little bit different than that, etc., but Wexford FC, sometimes the simplest thing is the best thing, and I just think it suits the football club just to call them Wexford FC. They were never called it before. I called it the rebirth of Wexford FC in the thumbnail and the description and the title, but in reality it's a new birth for Wexford, isn't it? Because for the first time in 2017 they were rebranded to Wexford FC. They were taken over by the supporters as well, which was a massive thing. Supporters trust at Wexford as well for the club, so a huge thing there. But really it's not until essentially 2022 when all the massive changes have been made at the club. Tony Doyle has come in as CEO of the club. This is in 2022. James Keddy was the new manager of the club, taking over from Ian Ryan, and John Godkin had come in as head of football development. So they're massive changes in the commercial aspects of the club, down to Tony Doyle pretty much, and the football side of the club down to Mr. Godkin. But under Tony Doyle, we've seen major changes in every aspect of the club. They've completely rebranded, as I said. They've got away from the Wexford Youths scenario in every way. I think most of the board members have been changed. New groundsman, new club secretary, new jersey. Obviously, they've changed the colours to purple and yellow, and they've changed the club crest to coincide with that. So you can see they're really trying to make it, it's a new club, pretty much, actually, you know? It's a new club, and you say rebranded, it's pretty much reformed as a club, and I think it's a good thing. The amalgamation is a huge thing as well with the women's team, in my personal opinion, to have them under the same banner now, under Wexford FC, and you don't have the women's team being Wexford Youths like they were before. They've more revenue from sponsors now, which is huge, and ticket sales are on the up, and are going. They reckon they're going to sell more tickets again this season than they did even last season. Furthermore, they're going to be moving away from Ferry Carrick Park, which holds roughly about 2,500 at the moment, into a new stadium in about 4 years in Wexford Town, which is a massive thing for me personally. First of all, it's going to be a 6,000 capacity new stadium. I'd imagine it's going to be mostly all seater on that front as well, but it's a case of what are they not going to change the club. But to be getting into a new ground with a larger capacity in Wexford Town in 4 years would be absolutely fantastic, and a fantastic achievement. And I think it would bring in more supporters as well, to be honest. You know, I know Ferry Carrick Park is miles away from Wexford, still not in Wexford. You know, you can go and have a pint before the match and walk down to the ground, etc., and it just makes a massive difference having a stadium, a football ground within the main town of the county. Now obviously they branch out, try and branch out all over Wexford, and that's where John Godkin comes into the scenario as well. So for him, as I said, he was manager of North End United in Wexford for roughly 30 years, so he knows his stuff about Wexford football, and his knowledge is absolutely fantastic, and I'm told there's no way he would have come in under the old regime. So that's a massive plus in itself. On the playing squad as well, their playing budget is probably as high as it's ever been, to be honest with you, and it's going to get better. But they brought a lot of good players to the club in the last year or two, and that's coincided with them finishing stronger in the league. You know, for a few years before that, they were kind of near the bottom of the league, but getting a playoff place was massive last season. They look to build on that this season and maybe get another playoff place, or even higher. Who knows? Maybe they can challenge the leaders. But they've brought back a lot of players from Wexford, and I like the idea of that, because it brings an edge, a bond, more togetherness in the team. But it's not just that they're Wexford people, they're good players too. The Levinson brothers, Connor Levinson, for example, Furlong came back, he's gone now. Aaron Dobbs, Ethan Boyle, these are really good players, and even Raheem Jarrett on the women's team came back to Wexford as well. So these are massive players to come back to Wexford, and to help their cause. Mikey Rowe recently this season as well. So that's absolutely huge. It gives you that core, and it's all right sometimes to bring players back to an area where you're from, but they brought good players back. So they've had that hand in hand, which is absolutely fantastic. And Thomas Alua, players like that who aren't from Wexford. So you can see the type of players they're bringing into the club. Another big one is actually Caelan Harnett, who at 17 years of age signed a 2-year deal. That wasn't happening before this reconstruction of the club. No chance in hell. Massive for Wexford to be able to do that. And to finish up really, I think for most maybe League of Ireland fans, a lot of this stuff might have gone under the radar a little bit, maybe because Wexford are in the first division, but with the potential and the growth there shown, it's fantastic to see. And especially teams outside the Dublin belt, I think is really fun. And that's, we need more of that in this league. We need to see more of that in this league. And they've really been driven by good people down there and experienced people on and off the pitch. And since 2022, has any other club, you know, moved forward the way Wexford have? I'm not sure they have. And massive, massive, massive to be able to say in maybe 4 years they're going to be moving from Ferrycarrig into Wexford town, the ground. That would be fantastic. Rebranding, club colours, crest, all great stuff. Better revenue, better sponsors, bigger budgets for the playing staff. Wexford people have come home, good footballers. And a complete change, new groundsman, etc, etc. And I think it's fantastic for Wexford because maybe they were a little bit, maybe at times they're a little bit of a laughing stock in Mick Wallace's tenure, certainly for part of it, maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say they were laughing stock from my personal point of view, but there was an element of that, wasn't there, with them as well. So they're very serious about how they're moving forward. And in terms of the playing side of things, you know, obviously preview First Division and all that kind of thing, but they do have a good squad, and it'll be very interesting to see how they do this season, if they get even better their position from last season. But all good stuff coming out of Wexford. Fantastic to see. Let me know what you think in the comments, Wexford or not. Subscribe to the channel, hit your bell notification button so you keep up to date with our videos, guys. There's loads of videos there. Like the video if you enjoyed the content. It'd be fantastic if I could get 30 likes even. Be absolutely fantastic. And again, let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.